What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. I know we're not on the MentalCon channel, but it'll get there. Apparently, YouTube's got some settings we didn't know about for a business account, so that delayed putting it live over on that channel. So thank you all for stopping by and hanging out. We got Ken's here already. Dan is here. How are you guys? Hope you're doing well. Today's stream is more or less an update to tell you where we're at on next year's event and kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about behind the scenes for the event, and to get your guys' input for chat, and to kind of bring in some of the people that are going to be a part of the show and are already a part of it. So that way Jake and I don't have to stress ourselves out so much with the 24-hour stuff. But we do have volunteers to do 24 plus hours. So
we sure do.
This guy over here said he wanted to do 24 hours straight. So we'll allow him to if he chooses to.
Madman.
William, what is going on? Hey, Retroverse, breaking the fourth wall. How you doing? So
there's not just Matt, there's Ian Taylor as well. He wants to do the 24 hours, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Nice.
So Ian.
Yep. Ian Taylor wanted to do the 24 hours as well. But that's great because it gives some additional hosts to kind of help with handling all those aspects that are involved with the show. Interglobal, what's up?
What up,
Interglobal? Alonzo.
Staying cooled off. It is hot all over the place today. So
it's not
I guess
hot here where
you want to start off with the announcement of the new logo? We can start off with that.
I want to start off. Have we got enough people? Anyway, fuck them. Enough people or not.
If they don't like it, they can scrub back and catch up. It's fine, man.
Fuck them.
We'll do us.
We're here to announce. How do I do this? That way. How does it go?
No.
Fucking hell, back to fun.
Basically, opposite of whatever you think it is, that's the way you got to point.
This for MentalCon 24, we have got Joseph Reed, OMV, the man himself, to create as our logo. And it's such a pleasure to have you to do it, Joseph.
It's an honor.
You're a rock and roll star, aren't you? You're one of the boys. What can we say, mate? What can we say? Tell us how you came about it. What were your thoughts, mate, to create it?
Well, talking about you, like I just wanted to incorporate like a human brain, being MentalCon. So there we go. And this is kind of self-explanatory. It's like a homage to the Marvel Metal logo. Like I said, I was thinking about trying to make the brain like black to make it like look more like the logo, but I think this looks better. It separates it.
I think
makes it its own
thing.
thing.
I think it's a nice separation between the background, the front, and it gives it a nice realistic aspect to it.
Dude, like I said, anybody in the group right here, anybody in the chat, if you think it's doo-doo, tell me. Let me know. This is the rough version, so I just needed to polish it up to be able to show it and have it look presentable. But this is going to change a lot. I'm stoked about it. It just made sense to me. I kept brainstorming
I love it.
What can I do? What can I do? And Marvel Metal and Mental. It was just kind of self-explanatory.
Absolutely.
But we also need like an adult version. So we're going to have to have another version. An axe going into the brain or a shotgun shot at it. We need something.
Yeah, we can do that.
We need an adult version as well, can't we?
I have a separate little version I sent you guys with a little bit of a blood splatter I did real quick just to pay homage
as an homage.
To the last year.
Let me get that, and then I'll share that just so chat can see it too.
But yeah.
What I like with the con, it reminds me of the university T-shirts you sometimes get.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does as well. Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
So I had another version. There was another version where there was all kinds of like dripping blood coming down from the bottom of it, but I just kind of panicked and was like, all right, I'm getting too into it. So, but eventually I would like to do something like that, like keep the blood splatter alive.
Yeah, why not?
Chat's liking it. William says no Ghost Rider flames. What the heck?
No venom. I mean, I guess brains or whatever, but no venom.
Yeah, chat's liking the logo, so that's awesome, man. You crushed it. You did a good job. I can't wait to see like the little updates that you do to it too. So
Thanks,
Looks
man.
amazing,
I'm sitting here thinking nostalgic vibes and collectibles, some movie claws and gamut cards all over. As far as for like being able to make merchandise, I don't know if we could do that, but it's making me think, like, speaking of mental, we all go through a lot of shit all the time. Like the brain just looks all beat up, like bruised up, got stitches in it.
There you go.
I'll do two versions. I'll do the nice clean, and then I'll do that.
we could always just put it up to a
mental
vote with chat and see what they say. Like put a poll out there on Instagram or something. Like, what would you guys prefer?
Definitely.
The stitched up version is like the
And then pick
SP
the
variant.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
It could be Mental Con and Mental Con After Dark, you know? Two different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. Ryan says
Like
that's
I'll slip in so it says mental fucking con.
awesome.
The cool thing about it is once it's done, you guys will be able to save it and put like a little icon at the top of your live videos. So where
Yeah, when we
there'll
have
be
the
no white
branding and
background.
stuff
It'll
like
just
that.
be like a yeah. So
Yeah,
same
so
thing
I
with
actually
whatever you guys
so the
want to do with
first-
it.
Yeah, the first image you had sent me, I actually wanted to have like a logo and stuff out there for like the thumbnail and stuff. So we dropped that first one on there. So we'll update, stuff as we go with the updated versions. But you did a really good job on the logo, I think.
Thanks.
Part of that logo is the ability for us to then get branded materials such as t-shirts, hats, mugs, whatever that is, whatever somebody might want, to then help raise funds for the event as well. And that's part of doing the logo, because we could take that plain logo, throw that on a t-shirt, or get somebody to do some etched mugs for us or something like that, to then allow people that want to help support the event that might not be able to buy the sketches, because a lot of the sketches did go quite pricey, but it's another way for them to get something for their donation as well as part of that, so that they can help support.
The other thing, if we do just like I don't know, let's say mugs, t-shirts, or whatever, and it's just a small nominal fee, it also gets Joseph's logo out there. It promotes Joseph. So the idea is that every year we'll choose an artist, and a different artist will do the logo every single year. So you're not going to get the same logo every single year.
Hell yeah.
And hopefully that will promote that artist too. So if someone's your favorite artist, you can wear the t-shirt to promote it. It's going to promote Mental Con in general, and it also jumps into the expansion of Mental Con, doesn't it? We're not just going to be
Absolutely.
We're not going to be stuck on Marvel, are we? We've got some ideas for next year, haven't we, as well?
Yeah. So as you can see here, we got this gentleman. He's been on a couple of the roundtable streams, and if you've subscribed to his channel, then you kind of know who he is. He is
There we
the
go.
king of Pokemon over here, Professor Oak.
What's up?
He is going to be our head Pokemon guru for the event.
Guru? Ooh,
Yeah.
Is that a title? Do I have a
Him and
title?
Swami are gonna have to fight it out.
it is now.
So this past year, I mostly collect Marvel. Jake mostly collects Marvel. But we wanted to bring it in and see how can we expand it beyond just the Marvel community, and that involves bringing in other communities, right? Whether that's Pokemon, Star Wars, DC, comic book guys, whatever that might be. Hey, Kellen, how you doing, man? And just trying to bring them in. Well, then looking at our format for this past year, 24 hours just isn't enough to accommodate adding all those groups in as well, right? So we have to do what? We have to expand it. Well, how can we expand it? Well, let's try 48, see where that goes. No, Jake and I are not staying up for 48 hours straight. That's just
Not yet. Not yet.
that's yeah. At least that's not the plan. But bringing in these guys that can be co-hosts, like Matt Fuller and Will and Dune and Greg and Professor Oak, and having them have segments of the show that they can then host, with a constant stream happening, and then they can go live on their channels as well to pull in those other communities. I think is going to help us be able to raise more funds for charity and provide more eyes on the whole mental health aspect across the collecting community. What say you?
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You didn't cut me off, so go right ahead.
So just what you were saying, like bringing in the other communities, like there's a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles community. There's a Alien Predator community. You can bring like just everything in. And as well as you guys did last year and like continuing to do this, and I didn't even know you could share a live with another YouTube account. I think that's pretty wild. So doing all that, like this can just get bigger and bigger. This is incredible.
Well, so
you guys really outdone yourself, man.
The way StreamYard is now set up is that you have your primary hosting channel, and then you have a certain number of destinations that can get streamed to at the same time. And guests are able to then stream as well because it's a paid account. So guests can come on and they can stream directly to their channel, which then brings in their community. Because not everybody's channel watches everybody else's channel. Some people are very specific. This is the creator I like. This is who I'm watching. So people that watch Oak's content or watch PokeRev's content, and if you can get PokeRev to be a part of it, that's a big, massive community that can now be a part of the event and help raise funds for charity. And
so what my idea was in Nate, we had this thing, and Will and Daniel, we just had a vision between the four of us where we just imagined MentalCon on everybody's fucking YouTube. So when somebody clicks on YouTube for that weekend, you've got MentalCon coming down there one way, shape, or form. And just like we're saying, there's a whole community because we all dip into different shit. We all just don't like Marvel, do it? You know, it's like, no, we don't. You know, it's like me only fancying Selma Hayek and nobody else, isn't it? You know, it's not going to happen, is it? There are other people out there. And that's the big vision, you know. Besides, like, having all the mates having a better chat and making it more interesting and just, like, dipping into each other's hobbies instead of just, like, the Marvel this or the Pokemon this. It gets boring and tiresome, doesn't it? Even for us, you know what I mean? And I just want to see a full page of MentalCon on YouTube and all the different IPs getting on together and chatting and this, that, the other, and sharing shit.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Keith. I think you could find that some of the other groups outside of Marvel are much more accommodating than some of the Marvel collectors. Even waifu cards, yeah. Water polo cards. That'll be the next year. We'll bring in the water polo community next year.
Well, we had cricket, didn't we? We had cricket cards.
Well, yeah. So
that's the idea, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, take that 48 hours, break that up amongst the different communities. That way, each community gets a time segment and stuff that's relevant to the size of their community, and let that host run it for that time. That host can, like, during the Pokemon segment, Oak can bring in whoever he wants to for his Pokemon segment. Whatever content creators or guests or artists that he wants to bring in during that segment, he brings them in. He lines them up. He sets them up. He gets them scheduled. That's the schedule. And then we're here to help produce the event, essentially, at that point in time. Pop up comments, add guests, add hosts, drop guests, you know, whatever that schedule dictates. So that way we can kind of be on the backside of things and let the community start to grow this event to where the following year,
organic.
2025, 2026, maybe now we can have an in-person / hybrid style event where it can be virtual for whoever can't make it, but can also be a physical location where the artists can get together if they can, the hosts can get together. We can stream from one area and then have everything kind of go out from there. I think that'd be, at least from what we were talking about, that's kind of where the next steps in the evolution of this are probably going to go. So,
yeah, we have bigger plans, don't we? We definitely have bigger plans. We want it to expand every year and to keep going and going and going. And hopefully 24 we can do a decent job of that. Yeah, Keith's right there, isn't it?
Yep. And that's Keith, and that's exactly why it's not just Jake and I doing this. We're having those segment hosts be able to then plan out their scheduling for their time slots. That takes some of that burden off. And then all they have to present back to us is, here you go. Here's who's coming on. I just need the link for the event so I can get it shared with all these other people. Right? They can share that stuff with their segment. They coordinate their segments, which I think is the biggest part.
And then
last year's schedule was smooth.
when your logo's everywhere, Joseph, I want something out of it. You know what I mean? Unsplattered, naked ladies like tits out, ass out, and everything all over that brain, and I want it on like at least a 2 foot by 2 foot centre to keep forever.
So brought up a point there. You said last year's segment is smooth, or was smooth, right?
Yeah,
From
it was super
from
smooth.
your guys' side of things, the schedule was smooth. From our side of things, it was chaotic because
Well,
there was so much carryover and overlap in conversations, and then at some points there was like, okay, we have too many people, which the schedule didn't. The schedule didn't have too many people. It was just people staying, and that's all fine and dandy. But I think this year it's going to be a little more structured with, okay, these are the time slots that are allotted for this guest. But we want to allow the guest to have a bigger time slot too, so that way that conversation can develop and carry on. And if it ends short, it ends short, and then you can bring in your next guest early if they want to. But we do want to allow each group, each guest, a proper amount of time to be able to, communicate what they'd like to communicate, or open whatever they're going to open, or talk about whatever they're going to talk about. So
I just got a good idea there in the chat. TMNT Doom.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'd like to handle the turtles, Doom, wouldn't you?
I'm definitely gonna talk turtles wherever I'm at.
Dude, low key, man. I love the turtles. Same thing with Alien and Predator.
I got my buddy right
your
here.
microphone works, right, Oak?
It's right here all the time.
There we go. What's that?
Yeah.
What is it?
The Surfing Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turtles everywhere.
Oh, you showing turtles? You showing
I
turtles?
think you can. Yeah.
There we go.
Mikey Sewer Surfer Mikey back in the day.
Mikey, yeah. That's cool, isn't it?
That's the only one I have so far. But yeah.
For the win. Nice.
You definitely gotta talk turtles.
But yeah, on top of doing merchandise to raise funds, those funds for the event, that's going to help cover shipping costs. That's going to help cover paying for the art blanks and stuff like that. It's going to help cover the expenses that are involved in the event itself, plus the fundraiser aspect of things, to make that less of a burden on the people that are involved in the event too. Let's see here. We did the logo. We talked about the artist, time slots for the different events, and part of the sketches. We were going to talk a little bit about the sketches as well. So last year we did sketch card blanks, and Joseph, you're an artist, and you did, sketches for the event.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the blanks?
Oh, they're incredible. As a matter of fact, I would love to know where you guys went. I think it's the same thing that
Iconics.
JP from. I think JP he got the same ones. Dude, they're sick.
I think it was just a different card thickness. I think it was just a different card thickness. We went with the 32
the thickness
point cards.
It's just perfect. It's just perfect because like I got I just put them away, but I have like a normal, just you can buy them at an art store, blank sketch cards, and they're almost paper thin. So the ones you guys have, they just feel better in hand. The pencil just glides across it. It erases perfect, and like the color doesn't bleed at all. And
I've heard that from the people that
the
different mediums and stuff too. Like even the people that are using like oils and stuff, it sets up really well on the card stock itself. So we talked about
this one right there.
Just make Oak big there, Nate. Show us that again, Oak, please.
Yeah, put that sheet on.
I have one to show off too after.
It's Ariel Mamma.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's cool,
love
isn't
it.
it?
That's what I'm saying.
Very good quality.
Yeah.
And then you have the.
I love it. Oh, look at that logo. That logo's quite cool, isn't it? Who did that?
I like it.
So we'll be able to have the new logo on the cards. Will's got his here. This is on MentalCon stock as well.
So this is from Off-White
Look at
Tim.
Off-White Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see
Tim's
all the
going
texture.
nuts, isn't it?
Is that paint? It looks like
Tim's going
paint.
Yeah.
nuts.
It is paint.
Yep.
Yeah,
Where
see,
is Tim?
everything works well on there.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, that's
Like the
crazy as
thickness.
But the thickness is,
itself.
it's,
Yeah.
it fits good in like a 55 point top.
That's what I'd say too.
One touch.
Like if you sleeve it at all, 55 55 point top loader is best. If it's going to go in a one touch, 55 is best because then
Yeah,
you put the
that's
sleeve
what
right
I'm
over top
using.
of it, and
Yep.
doesn't move around
It's
too much
great.
at all. And
It's crazy as well, like how the mental con card, and another reason why I wanted to choose an artist each year for exposure.
Mhm.
They'll just keep going round the world. They'll keep going around the world as well. So Joseph's logo is just gonna like go around the world for 12 months longer, and until the sketch cards run out, and then
Yeah.
That's
it'll get
interesting.
passed about, and then the idea will get passed about, the mental kind of idea, and yeah, I think it's quite
Yep.
cool. We'll get do
So
some.
so as part of that sketch cards, and Matt, you're a big sketch card guy as well. I mean, you're a decent sized sketch card collector, right, Matt?
Yeah,
Is it? Oh, seriously, Matt. Have
He's
you got
kind of a
one?
noob to it, isn't he?
Has he got a couple? Yeah.
dipping my toes into the pool.
There you go. There you go. But to kind of expand on the sketch cards, I think we still wanted to do the blanks, but we also wanted to incorporate some other options there. So Premiere has like the quads. So we talked about doing something with like quad panels to give the artist a bit more room, doing some 5x7s. So that way that the artists have an ability to do something a little bit bigger, give them a little more space, more detail, showcase more of their art style within that. What do you guys think about doing something like that as far as adding those additional styles for the artist to work on?
I got an idea that popped in my head when you guys were talking about like merchandise, like T-shirts and mugs and stuff. What if we just sent a T-shirt and had like each artist add a area? They had like an area of the T-shirt where they would sign it or do a little sketch or picture or something on the T-shirt, and then at the end you would have like 10 different artists on one shirt. I don't know how viable it would be time-wise to do that. And send it to
That's a
everyone,
cool
but-
idea though, like how
Yeah,
at a
that's a good
con
idea.
you get all your friends to sign
Mhm.
one thing, and then at the end you have everyone's signatures
a-
or something.
There's a memory from that event, that moment. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see something like that happening. I just don't know how realistic it is.
I mean, even if you did it on one shirt and then that shirt was auctioned off, now you're getting
Yeah, at
art
the end,
from
yeah.
all the different artists
Yeah,
on
it
the
could be
shirt.
done.
And
'Cause
just
my
a
thought-
remark too. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like a paint or like a full thing. It could just be a remark with the signature.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Joseph, as an artist, I mean, I know every artist has their different styles. Do you think that drawing
honestly
on a shirt
lost.
is something that's feasible?
Well, drawing on a shirt would suck ass. I'm going to speak on behalf of every artist out there. It would
But
suck
that's why we
too
have
bad.
you here too, is kind of to pick your brain about those sort of things. Because you guys, if we did
Well-
something like that, you guys are the ones that have to kind of go,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm on board for that, and then have to work with that, right?
A shirt thing, I was thinking, like you were saying, every other year you're going to have another artist. If, like,
Yeah.
let's say 5 years down the road, you got 5 different artists, you could make like a special shirt that has all the different logos on it. And then,
Right.
I don't know, you could probably send it to each artist, have them sign it or something. But as far as like sending around a shirt for everybody to try to draw on, it's just,
Yeah.
that sounds
Between
like
that and the medium, I think that sounds challenging. But on a quad or a 5x7 to have a few artists do a jam that could be auctioned off.
There you go.
I've got jam cards that
Absolutely.
have been done like that. So that, and it's easier to send. It'll display better. Like you're not going to have to get like a t-shirt frame. So that might be a better option there.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a good. That's a great. Yeah, that's a great idea, man.
To kind of expand on
That's
Oak's
better.
idea, how we can kind of incorporate the artist on a shirt collectively. So you know how the old rock concerts used to have like the tour,
Oh yeah.
and they'd have the different cities.
What
We
have
could
you got
almost
there,
have-
Joseph?
Blanks.
Just a
Blanks.
tiny handful out of a long box that is just filled with symbiote repeated blanks that I desperately need to do. But sketch covers, man, you can get an ass ton of artists, especially if they do something real small in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You got the whole front, and then you got the whole back. You can get at least 20, maybe 30 artists on there. I'm not saying that title, but just any blank comics. I know this is a card
No,
heavy thing, but
but it is another idea, that, because you know what you could do. You could do it and actually get it graded if you wanted to, couldn't you? So if somebody auctioned it or won it or whichever that was, and if they chose to get something graded, they could do it,
Done.
couldn't they?
Yeah.
Now, if it's CGC, there will have to be a
Green label.
art. It's like an artist form that is from CGC that you have to sign and date when you drew it, and that would have to be mailed with the comic to the next artist, which they would have to sign and date when they do it in order to get it authenticated. If not, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't authenticate
Okay.
it. CBCS,
that's good.
you can just send it there any day of the week, and they'll grade it. So it could definitely be
Are you
done.
writing this
As
down,
far
Nathan?
as
Yeah.
far as
Okay.
panel cards, like, can you have custom panel cards made? Is that a thing?
We can make a 5x7. I'm sure we could just order on the same stock of 5x7 also.
And so Iconics doesn't publicly offer them like on their website, but I'm sure we could reach out and see if there's like a custom
That's
thing
true.
that we
Yeah,
can
like
do.
make it longer or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way
Would
that
you
like Upper
prefer a
Deck does it,
5x7 or like the quad panel where you get just one longer strip?
the longer strip would be cool because you could just get like a nice little, just run of all the different artists on there.
So I mean, that would give you, with the logo on the card, that would essentially give you 7 spots when you count the front and the back of the card.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
because
If
one
you're
of the
doing the
spots
back,
gets
too.
taken up. Yeah.
Because one of the other things we had talked about was getting 9 artists to do cards to try to work out some sort of like
Binder page.
either binder page, puzzle, or just individually
Mm,
9
that would be
9
dope.
specific arts that then go together as a single auction for the event. Like have it be like the premiere piece or something like that, where everybody get 9 top artists or something like that, and that all goes in the binder page. And then now that's one
Or
one auction.
three artists
or
that
3
do
threes. Yeah.
three. Yeah,
To
3 by
3,
3s.
whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
like
that's
a
the
jam
thing,
or
if
whatever that
it's-
might be.
If it's just a small group of 3 artists, like whoever starts the puzzle piece, it all comes down to trust and comfortability, but they could send those cards to the next artist so you could lay
so
your
like-
cards and actually
Right.
connect them.
Yeah, so
Finish
you
the
would
piece.
you would
That'd be
start
sick.
something, but you would start it, so you'd be left 1, and you'd leave that right side of that card as something that could potentially connect into something else. And then
Mhm.
the next person doesn't know or whatever, and you go, here you go, you're next.
Just that
Man-
way
And
so
it's
they
just
all
complete
flow.
surprise what the puzzle is. Yeah.
Mental Con is 9 letters.
Is it?
Really? Yeah, it is.
I mean, you could do MENTAL Con. Like you
Yeah.
could do, and have like an actual
That's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it?
all different artists,
Dude.
and then it would be easier to just assign a letter to someone and say do whatever the you want with the letter.
At that point, you may as well just do like a limited chase of 9 cards, just print them out, have them
That's-
be like foil or something.
That's what we talked
Yeah,
about.
we-
Was
yeah.
doing like
Yeah.
making
There's
it
so many
limited.
different options there. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out. I need to look into this company that you're talking about because I got a lot of digital art that I want to have printed out on like trading card stock, but I want it to be rainbow foil. I don't know. Everywhere I look, no one does it like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I would like to look into that.
There's a couple of the custom guys do a bunch of the foil stuff, but
Dragon Shield, would they do that stuff?
I
BGS.
don't know what's
Dragon Shield.
I think it's like the printing company that BGS owns. They make custom sleeves and all different things. They may do cards. I haven't really looked at it though.
I know my dude Gorkum. If I'm butchering his name, I apologize, but he's over somewhere in Europe, UK or something like that. But he's got his own custom printing company. As far as I know, out there, he's always got some stuff coming out. But again, they're across seas, so like just trying to find
Mystery
something
Pack.
close by to me. Yeah, like literally, you could.
like mystery packs. Yeah, you could almost do. I wonder if like the artist could do like a sketch card, and then you can then scan that and have those printed off in X amount of qualities for each one. The sketch card itself can get auctioned off during the event, and then the packs could get auctioned off during the event too, like in a different format. Because I think it'd be a lot to say, hey, artist, could you do XYZ number of sketch cards for mystery packs? How would we do the mystery packs?
Well, like you were saying, they could just do a drawing and then have it scanned. And then this company here, it's like you can print out however many cards you want. And this
Okay.
is just pretty much digital art, so it just scans right on there. I just send them a file and bam. So
Create little card
one artist
sets
could do
from
a card.
sketches.
Yeah, one artist could do a card, and you can print it out this many times, and you have like, let's say 20 artists, and then you got a whole
Oh.
bundle of cards. There's a lot you could do.
Yeah, Armando, I'll reach
Well,
out to him.
You guys know what is it? Cardboard After Dark. You ever heard of him on Instagram?
Yep.
He has his own little like card series. Just like
Okay.
I think I should have. I got to talk to him about it. It should be a Ghost Rider card that I have in his set that's coming out. And I think you can actually find companies where they make packages or something like that. I don't know, like the wax packages. It's all kinds of shit. I hear that you can do all this shit. I see people doing it, and then I search everywhere, and it's just like I don't
Well,
find
Will,
those exact.
we had
things.
talked about Will and Retro and I had talked about having like a big piece done that would then allow people to all participate, like everybody to be able to get in for the cost of essentially, a raffle ticket, and then it'd be one large piece. That way, everybody has an opportunity to get some of those big pieces that otherwise sell for thousands of dollars. Like we did the Fred and Ian. Fred and Ian donated 2 sketches this year, and they each went for 3,000 plus. I mean, so there's very limited people that have an opportunity at that. But if we would have went back and said, okay, we're going to sell raffle tickets, maybe we could have sold enough to raise $4,000 if that many people were interested in a sketch
Definitely.
like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Can you?
With the amount of
can you
people that were
gamble?
watching,
Well, that's the fine line. Is it a gambling aspect when the prize is given? Like what the prize is going to be, and somebody is guaranteed to win that prize.
like how many
Right.
people did you have watching total of that video?
In total, the views was 1,847 views on the stream. or
Okay, so
something like that.
times that by $5 for a raffle ticket, and everyone's well aware that there's going to be raffle tickets. That's what you would
Yeah,
have come
and,
up with.
and it's a donation to charity. So, I mean, there are different states have different rules in how that works, and different industries have different rules. I know when I was in real estate, if you were doing an open house, you couldn't have a raffle as like your door prize thing. Everybody had to get essentially the same thing in order to get something in return for that, right? Now the charity's getting something in return. We're not getting anything in return other than exposure, obviously, for the event, which then helps the charity even more. So it's something that we'd have to look into. But Doom, what do you think about like a raffle style? Do you think that's something that could work successfully for maybe 1 or 2 pieces?
I mean, I love the idea because I would definitely throw in buy a ticket or 2. Where otherwise, like, there's no even point of submitting an offer or a bid, on the auction. Like,
Because
we saw how quickly it just jumped.
Yeah,
Now whether that's doable or not, I mean, I don't know, but
Armando, good point here, Armando. And this is what we were thinking, like with having a couple big pieces that are pricey pieces. Raffle would be awesome for the people that don't necessarily have a ton of money to be able to get into. And
Everybody gets a chance at it.
So,
Everybody.
yeah. I
Playing,
mean, you still have some big pieces that can just go on auction, but having the premier piece or something like that, like I went to a couple of years ago. We went to one of the Indian museums up in South Dakota, and they were auctioning. They weren't auctioning it off. It was a raffle for like an Indian motorcycle. You pay your $40 for your ticket or whatever, and then you get notified when that happens. I think that'd be an option for us as a way to kind of raise additional funds, but still allow everybody an opportunity at something massive.
Dude, I've entered maybe 3 or 4 raffles in my entire life, and 2 of them I won, and one of them I spent $1. And the book I got was a big time book. It was graded 9.8. It was fucking awesome, dude. It was like $1, whatever. Who gives a shit? I'll probably lose it to $1, and then I won that thing. So that's like anybody that they don't have the means to be able to buy that piece, but they would love to own something like that. They spend like $5 or however much it is, and bam, they got it. That person is gonna be riding high off that shit for so goddamn long.
Yeah, everyone loves a raffle. I mean,
Mhm.
I do.
you like to see the wheel just spin. It's just addicting.
That wheel was amazing on Mental Comp. That wheel just did it for me. That was the best thing on Mental
Spin the wheel,
Comp.
Nate. Spin the wheel.
Spin that fucking wheel. Shows what we're winning. Shows what's coming. Yeah. Complete gambling on it.
Can I play devil's advocate on that idea
absolutely.
though? Because like I'm imagining, like some of the cards went pretty expensive, right? And what if there was only like, say, a card sold for $1,000, but we only sold $500 worth of raffle tickets, right? But it could have like 2-3 people were willing to spend $1,000 rather than pay the $5 for a raffle ticket. Like I know that She-Hulk, I would have been sad if that went to raffle. Like I wanted to make sure I got it. That's why I threw that big bid in right out the gate.
Right.
So like on the buyer's end, like I'm a collector. I want that card. I'm willing to pay for it. Doing a raffle completely eliminates the chance of me knowing that I can bid as much as I want to get it.
Well, I think, and again, to devil's advocate to that, that's a good point. But we wouldn't raffle off everything. We would raffle off one item, and it's known that that's the raffle item from early on.
Yeah.
Or have a set amount of like raffle tickets and just announce like there's
like you go, okay,
these
what
many,
could this,
and now
what would
there's
this realistically
go
go
buy them
for?
up.
And then just kind of go, okay, we have this many raffle tickets, and we're trying to raise this much with this piece, so this is the cost of each raffle ticket.
Yeah.
I guess if would it be like a limit to, or limit
There's a risk there, right? Yeah, you can only
because
buy.
I would buy 50.
You can only buy a couple tickets or something.
Well, I mean, if you want to buy 50, you deserve to get a bigger chance. Like it's.
But that's where if you put the limit on how many raffle tickets there are, then somebody knows what the odds of them winning are. I think back to like the county fairs where they have the raffles and stuff like that. Like they don't really have a limit on how many tickets there are. They're just selling as many tickets as they can possibly sell, knowing that they, if they don't sell enough tickets, well, they don't cover the cost of the item. That's a big gamble there too, like you said, Oak.
Coming out of things like, where you throw the balls at the 10-pin bowling pins, and like we put concrete in the bottom of them and that.
I mean,
can we not do a live stream and just cheat?
We'll just do duck races. Everybody that wants the card bids on it, and if you bid on it, then you're entered into the duck race.
Oh, we'll do a cider race. What we'll do is see how quick Jake can drink a can of cider.
Oh,
you got to guess a time.
There's an app that I was planning on possibly using to play actual games, and people at home can play the game on the app live and get into a leaderboard and stuff. So I was going to explore that a little bit further. I used it during training at my work about 4 years ago, so it's probably even better now. But I think there's some possibility for literally like playing a game and have like interactivity with it too while you're watching it live. Time delay on the video, I don't know how that will affect it, but we'll make sure they've got plenty of time to get an answer in or click whatever they need
we did already have an idea about this, didn't we, Will?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we have a time slot that's blocked off for either competition or some sort of gaming thing, that'd be cool. A tournament, whether it's we've been playing Mario Kart in Swami's Discord a lot lately, and it's been a blast. Like people are having so much fun. So if we could do an hour of that or an hour and a half of that, and maybe the end, the result is I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the details, but that'd be a cool little segment, I think, to break it up.
I mean, we were just messaging about like Gears of War, weren't we? Like when you used to play in the days of Jay and that, and this, that, and the
Yep.
other, we're just chatting. And then it was like, why don't we do like a Gear? And obviously not Gears of War because you've got to be good at games to play that. And not any weak card can play it. I've tried. But you know, something like Mortal Kombat or whatever, or something just it's just a bit of a laugh that anybody can jump on.
So that's a good
Yes.
idea there, Relics. He says
It
that
is.
if you had a prize, like say for example the Fred and Ian commissions, one of them can be auctioned and the other one is a raffle. So that way everybody has an opportunity at it.
Yeah, that's solid. And then
The
you're not
risk
missing
is,
out.
The risk is you don't raise as much, but it does allow the community to all have an opportunity at something like that you're not missing.
I think that's better. You know, even though it doesn't raise
I
as
think
much,
that's what it's
just
all
not
about.
like
Yeah, and I mean you got to remember
it's just
you're-
not like high rollers saying I can 201 $3,000 on this, or maybe
Yeah.
even getting into serious credit card debt that they can't really afford.
Mhm.
You know, we might be fucking somebody over. We might be thinking, oh, we're doing really good, and then somebody's like, not paid the mortgage for 3 months or whatever, because we was auctioning the card for charity. Whereas if you
Yeah.
got a raffle, it's cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, if you have the option to just bid, you know you can absolutely buy it. The same way that you're saying a raffle, you know you can't absolutely buy it. When it's bidding like that, then the people that can't afford it, then they're stuck in that situation where they just absolutely cannot buy it. So it's a
And-
double-edged
and-
sword, man.
The mindset is you got to remember that it's, and Jake, you said this a lot during the last stream, is if you're going to make a donation anyway, place a bid on one of the cards.
Yeah.
And if you win it, then you get a card on top of that. In this instance,
Mhm.
if you're going to make a donation anyway, you might as well buy a raffle ticket.
I think it.
However many raffle tickets in the donation amount, because then you have an opportunity to get a big piece of art as well on top of your donation for your small raffle ticket cost. And I think
Mhm.
that's where you can kind of offset some of that concern that you had mentioned, Oak, with, well, what if you don't sell enough where you could auction it? Well, if you get a bunch of people donate anyway, they might as well just buy raffle tickets. Or you just say that, hey, every $10 earns a raffle ticket. So make a $10 donation and you get a raffle ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
And
can,
go on
we
to
can
maybe
work
the
that out. We can work that out. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, we'll
This is
work
more
out
of the
the logistics
brainstorming.
later.
This
Yeah.
is more of the
I'd say
brainstorming.
I'd say just test it out one time, just with one big piece, like you were saying. It'll be like
Mhm.
the hit of the day or whatever. Just test it with that and try it again next year. Maybe you guys could get more
Ryan,
people
so-
involved.
So going through GoFundMe, the charity doesn't know who made the donations because GoFundMe sends it through their 501c, which is all private. So they don't know who made the donation. So
Speaking to them ahead of time this year, though, they might be able to drive traffic to the event if they promote it.
and we tried to get a hold of them, but we didn't get response
I-
back as far as from the correct
Yeah,
people that we needed
I-
to speak to for that. So
I
But yes, we
tagged
have
it-
more
I
time.
tagged
We
it in
have more
various
time now.
social media posts, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
But I think we've all agreed anyway that for next year we want a more personal charity. I mean, I've got the one. In fact, I'm going to mention the one that I sent to you, Nathan, because
Yeah,
I already made the decision.
and
that I
it
sent
might
to
end
you.
up being one charity. It might end up being 2 or 3 charities too. So
Is that the one
Yeah.
you're telling me about, Jake, called X23 for Jake Incorporated?
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's a good charity. I mean, the problem is everything goes to the UK, but what you get is a 24/7 service for mental health. And what happens is when you've got a mental health problem, you ring my phone number and I'll completely ignore you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you know exactly what you're getting. I mean, I'll take the cards, but if you book an appointment and send me extra cards, then you might have more of a chance, yeah. Comic books for kids, I fancy. I believe you sent me that link, dude, didn't you, quite a few months ago about comic books for kids, if I remember.
No, it's not
Was it
me.
you? Maybe Sergio or Free then. Maybe it
Yeah,
was Sergio or Free.
one of them probably.
It was one of the boys anyway. And basically they send comic books to hospitals in the US and in the UK as well. I think they did 12 hospitals in and around the London area last year or something like that. And it seems a very personal charity. I'm quite sure we'll be able to get in touch with them. We haven't done yet because this is the first time I've actually mentioned it. But I think me personally, I'd like to have 2 or 3 charities like that so we can interact with the charity throughout the year and they know what's coming. And so everybody puts the money up front because money's money, it's not easy to come back. Or everybody who donates a card, or anybody who just watches a stream or does like Joseph doing the logo or whatever that is, anybody who's a part of it, hopefully the charity will work with us and you can see what I mean. Let's we're human beings, aren't we? We like to see what we're getting for our money and for our time and our energy. We can all play, oh yeah, I'm anonymous and I don't care, but in the real world, we like to know that we're interacting with all the good work that we're going to be doing.
You just want to see the
So, I think
impact, right,
definitely,
that
yeah.
you made.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to see. You want to see the impact that as a community and even as like an individual, you want to see what you've done. Even if like, I don't know, even if Timmy got a box of chocolates and he's not had a box of chocolates for a week, it's fine, isn't it? Somebody got a baseball cap for the dog because they always wanted one. Whatever the reason is like doesn't really matter, does it? It's just that we are having an impact and it is helping people along with helping ourselves. Like, yeah,
Dude, that's one thing though that I probably like. The only thing I could suggest is the whole thing being mental con. I don't think there was much talk about anyone's mental health.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You feel me? So maybe
yeah.
have like everybody have like a 10-minute segment before they jump off, like speak about what it means to be collecting and why you got into it, or like
Yeah.
like the shit we talked about that one time. I think it would be cool to hear people actually talk about that. I thought we were going to talk about that. The whole premise is being mental con, but
And
by the time
we
I got
left it.
on
We
there,
left it pretty much up to the guests to
It was
talk
just
about
like-
whatever they wanted to talk about. So, because not everybody's, people want to participate in the event, but not everybody's at the point where they're open enough to discuss those things either.
Yeah,
That's
I think
true. They don't have to get
I don't know
deep.
about everyone, but the challenge for me, I did intend to do that, but I never found a good segue because there were always multiple people and conversations happening. So
And that's
it
why
felt
we
like
wanted
I
to-
would just be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's talk about this."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we agree with you guys 100% on that, and that's part of why this year we wanted to allow more time per guest as well, because we were putting
Mhm.
2, sometimes 3 people in the same hour time block. Well, when you're saying, okay, you only get 15 or 20 minutes, that's not a lot of time to kind of have a conversation about stuff. So we definitely learned from that. This year we want to expand
we fucked up.
that ability.
We did fuck up. I mean, we're supposed to show my video like 3 times over the 24 hours, and we didn't show it.
And I don't
once.
think we showed it. I don't think we showed it one time. Yeah, because the conversation
didn't
just
show it
started
once.
and then the show just went. Yep.
Dude, it was pedal to the metal.
Don't
It was
get-
awesome, which I get.
Don't get me wrong. I don't give a fuck about anybody seeing that video. I don't need to promote it. I don't care if nobody does watch it. But it was just like it gave mental credibility, didn't it? And showed, we're not fucking
Yeah.
idiots. We know what we're talking about, and this, that, and the other, and just something for people, to look at. Because I was proud of it when I did that. The BBC getting in touch with you, want to make it, a documentary, and I said, "Oh, I'll do the short video first and see how it goes," and then decided I wasn't going to do a documentary because it wasn't for me, sort of thing. But besides any of that, yeah, I think you're probably right as well. We do need some like allotted time slots, but we just went with it.
Mhm.
We didn't expect all the community and all the people to be so fucking good and so cool and just like a roller coaster, Nate, wasn't it? Really?
Because we literally thought, what the hell are we going to talk? What the hell are you and I going to talk about
Yeah,
for
yeah.
24 hours? Because
Yeah,
we thought that's
yeah.
what it was going to end up being. And then it turned into so much more that it was like, well, now we got way more people than we expected. And we do want to allow them all to be a part of it too. Well, then that kind of screwed up
Mhm.
some of the schedule stuff. So that's why this year we're like, okay, let's expand it. Let's let it breathe let's let each segment breathe. Let's let each co-host then kind of control their segment as well and plan out their outline and their time frame. That way we're not dictating that for them. So like Oak said, he wanted to, do some of those game stuff and stuff like that with the people during his time stream. And then that's part of his scheduling for his time block. So we'll just figure out time blocks and go, okay, this is how much time you got. Plan out your guests that can make it during these time blocks and whatever you're going to do during these time blocks. Just make sure you leave enough time for everybody to be involved, participate.
We just
share their
didn't
stories.
know. We just didn't know.
Yep.
It was just like, bear in mind, we had this idea 2 months before, 8 weeks or something.
It's like the
And, like,
pilot
even with
episode.
We're dooming the boys when they came on, and like, then I watched a bit of it the other day, and I'm having to like go on YouTube and just say, "Can people please leave?" And then like one person would leave, and I said, "No, we need more of you to leave." We've got like fucking Free and Johnny coming on, but that isn't going to happen next year because we're having allotted time slots, and again, part of the allotted time slot. So we're not sure how we'll work it, but what it'll be, let's say Doom's got an hour, for argument's sake. Let's say Matt's got an hour. Let's say Joseph's got an hour. What you'll do, there'll be an intro of you coming on. You'll be on for that hour, and then you're kicked out. Everybody in that room is kicked out. But what you can then do is carry on your own YouTube channel. So the stream carries on a different YouTube channel. So this is the other thing that'll help with the other IPs. So let's say we've got Hulk on for 2 hours, but it can multiple stream, and then Hulk can carry on his business on his channel for however long he wants, and then the next person of the segment jumps in to get a new introduction. At the end of that segment, everybody gets kicked out. Let's say Doom and Lucy from the NSDC, they do their channel, but they can then carry on their channel. So like YouTube will just be full of everybody's channels that carry on. So if Doom's carrying on with Turtles and Hulk's carrying on with Pokemon and how he can't get cider where he lives, which is a travesty and a mental health issue in itself, to be honest with you, which needs addressing. I think we need to do something with it. And then, Joseph, you could like have your channel, and I know you've not got one, but you could create one, and you could say, right, I'm going to do a piece of art on the comic cover for an hour. And then people can hop from one to the other. And so everybody still gets to carry on with the excitement, and but we still focus on the main mental con.
Dude, I do have a channel. I just haven't messed with it in a while since, the birth of my baby. I just haven't had the time. But
yeah. Okay.
I've been talking to a couple of other artists, and I'm trying to start doing just live drawings and just talking shop. And if that really picks up, then I could totally do that.
Yes.
So I would dedicate it to like the little artist hangout. You guys can come over here and draw and just bitch about how much you're fucking tired of drawing the same thing over and over and over, or whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do to get through it, man.
Mark, this is a
That'd
good
be
idea
cool.
here, allowing the presenters to pre-record their mental health stories, and then that way they can be played as kind of like their intro. You can play them as their intro to bring them into the show.
See, that's a great thought, isn't it? If anybody wished to do that, you don't have to do that, but Pokemon box break. I think we might have one or two of them, Hulk, aren't we?
For sure.
I got a
Then
dip,
we can have
guys.
Hulk.
You got a dip? Yeah.
Yep. All right.
No
See you
worries,
guys.
man. Thanks for
Catch you
listening,
later.
everybody.
Cheers, mate. Take it
Later.
easy.
Later.
So last year, good. Thanks, Oak. Last year we raised over $20,000 for the Wounded Warrior project. We don't have a goal set for this year, but bringing in the additional people and content and the different segments, I think that goal probably is going to be quite a bit higher this year. In hopes to be able to hit that, because we'll be able to hit especially with Pokemon, we'll be able to hit a much larger worldwide group of people that
No
then
pressure.
participate. No pressure at all. Thanks, man. So, because last year's goal was 5,000, and we were, I think it was just before the Fred and Ian stuff, we were at like 3,500 right about then, and I was like, all right, I think we might make it. But then, like, the first thing came through, I was like, all right, yep, this is. And then then it was like, all right, how much is it going to get to at that point in time? So next year is like finding an achievable goal and then see if we can blast that out of the water too. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
goal will
great.
be what it is. You know, it doesn't matter if we don't hit whatever, does it? You know what I mean? That's not.
It'd be cool to
Exactly what
beat
it's
the
about.
previous year. I think that'd
It
be
would,
a
yeah.
goal to like continuously have like the previous year as the goal to like beat, not to hit, but to actually beat.
Mhm.
That's not a bad idea. Just make last year's total donated be the goal for this year.
Yeah, round it up.
And
Like,
see if we can beat
I
that.
love that you two are going to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. Dude, I'm going to be like Jerry Lewis on crack when I'm on there. Like, get those bids in. Let's go.
Very cool.
It's going to be a huge fucking goal. Like, I'm scared already to even like hit it again. Yeah, it's going to be big.
Shit, embrace that fear. Just run into it, baby.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think more about the grand plan than I actually. The money doesn't really enter my head. I think of the ways of making the show better and just improving and making it bigger to eventually
Mhm.
a few years down a physical event and I can fly over and say fuck it, I'm going to fly over and we'll all sit there and have different streams or whatever we do. You know what I mean? So I think more of them terms. And I think Nate, I think we just kind of blocked the money out, didn't we? We just thought, oh, fuck it, we'll let a target of 5. And we thought, oh, that's huge. And then you just like.
Yeah, at some point it was just like we weren't even paying attention to it, and I wasn't even looking at it until somebody asked where we were at, and then I was like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, damn, that's where we're at." So, about the only time I was looking at it was like, "Okay, did the person that won the bid make their donation?" And then I look at the donations and go, "Yep, this person made the donation." So check. I could check that that's all taken care of. So,
No, but that's also the. Oh, go on. Sorry, all I was.
I was just going to ask. I wanted to wrap it up pretty soon here, but did you want to talk about the artists that were on board for next year already, or did you want to wait for the next time we do this for that?
We can wait. Yeah, we can wait because we might get other people hooked up on that. Yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
Definitely.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about who's already on board to put pressure on those that aren't on board.
No, we've got some secret artists, haven't we? Like Doom and Elusive and Johnny Bravo. And
well, they're not secret artists if you keep right on.
I don't know about artists. You know, we're gonna doodle something. Johnny for sure is an artist. Johnny for sure.
Terrible.
We'll see.
So
you might learn how to draw, Nate. We've got a year. Surely we can knock off a card in the fucking year.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
join the club.
Every host.
It's going to look like this right now, and it's going to look like that by the end of the year.
So 1-1, you know.
We've got a year.
I'm down to embarrass
Can I
myself.
bring in the ringer and I'll have my daughter do something?
Here we go.
She might finish it in a year.
New rule: every host has to do one. Come on, so
Oh
it's
my
mandatory now. You know.
Great. All right, Joseph.
Doom's
do
right there.
you give drawing classes?
Doom might have a point, you know. Blood pressure and Doom. It's like maybe we should pressure.
I'll be hitting
ourselves.
Joseph up for the late night hour drawing classes.
Dude,
It's
you
all
can
right.
come join me, Ash, and Dre, and we'll
we
sit
go.
down with you. And we'll hook it up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. US versus the UK again. Fucking wankers. Never invited me, am I? Ever.
If you went to
Honestly.
left the EU, you could have hit up Fred and Ian, and then you would have had an artist to work.
Even Oaks moved to the fucking US just so he can like chat with card.
He
names.
already knew. He was like, nope.
He's no interest. He's only moved over there because everybody fucked him off in Pokemon. Just thought I'm gonna have to move over to the US. I'm gonna have to find a bride. I'm gonna have to get married and then find a job and have children just because I like Pikachu. You know what I mean? This
That's
is what
the
you
guy
boys
that wants
like.
to move to the communes.
It worked.
It was.
All right, guys. We're
I
going to
reckon-
go ahead and wrap this up. Just under an hour. Appreciate you all hanging out with us today.
I think
Chat,
so.
thank you so much for your ideas. They are helpful. We're going to take note of these and then discuss these more and build some of these into next year's show. Either next month or the month after that, we'll have another one of these kind of meetups to discuss where we're at on the timelines and plans and stuff. And then that way we're keeping all of you in chat in the loop as well. So thank you guys so much. Any last words, guys?
Hey,
Like,
Cheers.
fade us out. fade us out with that logo one more time. Shameless plug.
Fade us out with the logo.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
gotta pull
Let's
it up
look at this
again.
bullshit. Let's look at this bullshit.
No,
All
you
right.
can keep plugging it as much as you want. That's what
what
you
she
said.
said.
I appreciate the.
That's why we've chosen you as the artist, Joseph, to
Alright.
plug it.
See you guys.
That's,
Take it easy. We'll see you
See
later.
ya.
There we go.
Later.
There we go.